what's up, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of the TwoOne. I'm Mark Arjani with 21st Century Distributing. We are excited to have one of our new vendors to 21st. It's Level. Some of you guys may know them as Level Lock, Level Home, but they make a super innovative invisible lock that seamlessly adapts to your client's existing hardware. Really excited to have these guys in with us. We got Shawn Pillar here, who is the senior manager at Level. Going to bring us through a quick presentation, but first we'll get started with the TwoOne, some questions from you, our special viewers, audience members. So Shawn, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the TwoOne.
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's get going here. Are you ready?
Yep.
So we have our first question. By the way, just a fun fact about Shawn. He is a huge football fan. He loves the Detroit Lions and Penn State football. I could feel his pain because I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so we have that in common. Shawn, we're going to ask you this first question. It's going to come from a B. Sanders. How is Level Lock different from other smart locks, and why would your customer want it?
Yeah, great question. And really, there's a lot of different smart locks on the market, but they all kind of have the same pitfall, and that is they're not the most aesthetically pleasing thing to look at on your door. So we really took the approach of trying to make great technology that's hidden so that you don't see it on your front door, but it still works and gives you all the great benefits that you want from a smart lock in your home.
Yeah, we'll get into kind of what it looks like, just the internal, the hardware and everything. Another question here is from a Jay Paterno. How do Bolt and the Lock Plus compare? What determines which one a customer should choose? And again, we'll get into that, but if you could answer that question for Jay Paterno.
Yeah, I'd say two main things. So first is, do you want to use the existing door hardware that you have in the home? If so, Bolt is a great solution for you. And the second one that I would really talk to your customers about is, do you want to have NFC touch capabilities or Apple Home Keys capabilities? So if you want to use an Apple Watch or an Apple iPhone to lock and unlock your door, Lock Plus is the way to go. But both of them great solutions. Both of them utilize that hidden technology. And it's really just about how your customers want to interact with their lock.
Now they both have NFC. Which one has the NFC?
Just Lock Plus will have that. So that NFC
Gotcha.
capability is built into the outer bezel of the lock, and that's the equipment that comes with Lock Plus that Bolt does not use.
Gotcha. Okay, and then we like to end this too before we get into the presentation with just give our viewers one comment that is something that they should know about Level.
Yeah, we're relatively new into the CI space, but I think we align really perfectly with the space. It's a higher end solution, really a lot of care and dedication built into creating these locks for the higher end customer. But we're also trying to learn from the folks in the space. So certainly eager to interact with you and your customers and understand what it is that you need. And we'll go out and build that if we don't have it.
Yeah, I know integration is probably another question that you'll probably address here, but really appreciate that. Let's get going with the presentation, and thanks a lot, Shawn.
Absolutely. So I'll start with a quick welcome. Again, Shawn Pillar with Level Home. You may know of us as Level Lock or Level. Level Home is the maker of the Level Smart Lock. We go to market as the only invisible lock in the world. And so we'll jump right in and where we started. And it really started with our CEO, actually came from Apple. And he was going on a family trip, went to his vacation home. And after many hours of driving through the snow, he arrived and realized that he didn't have his keys. Didn't have a smart lock at the time. So we started researching the smart locks that were available on the market. And he came to the conclusion that all of them didn't have the look of the technology that he wanted on his front door. They were all bulky, not attractive to kind of the aesthetic that you see here. And so he left Apple, started Level, and set out to create an invisible smart lock that works for him, but also doesn't ruin that aesthetic. And so the result, you'll see an image here of actually our Level Lock Plus that we'll talk more about. Again, looks just like a regular door lock, but you can use some great features like Apple Home Keys to lock and unlock your door. From a footprint standpoint, you can see the size of the Lock Plus here on the far left compared to other smart locks that are in the market. You probably recognize the profile of some of those. Again, they're all incorporating the outer parts of the lock to house the motor, to house the batteries. That's why they're so bulky and large. That's why they don't look great. And so you see on the left side, we took all those electric components out, the battery components out of the bezel itself. So it looks just like a regular lock, and we'll show you where we recess everything to hide that from view. And before we jump into that, I do want to just mention that though we are a relatively new company, we had some big news at the end of last year. We are now part of the ASA Abloy umbrella. So large company that also owns Kwikset, Baldwin, many other brands, but you may see ASA Abloy as part of our branding moving forward. Really exciting time for us, obviously, having a brand that large and that recognized. Gives us a lot of resources, a lot of things that maybe we didn't have at our availability going into the market, but certainly have it now. And so really a great step forward for us and something that we're really excited about. So really what I want to talk about today is kind of the two main products that we have in market. One is the Level Bolt and one is the Level Lock Plus. We'll talk about some of the features and benefits of both, how they compare, where they're differentiated, what they look like, how you can use them, all the great features that they have. And so we'll start with Level Bolt, and you'll see some branding around Level Bolt Connect. You may see Level Bolt Wi-Fi. Essentially that Connect is a Wi-Fi bridge that's bundled in, but Level Bolt is the core product there. And so you see it here on the right side of the screen. And really what it is at its core is a Bluetooth lock that recesses invisibly inside of the door itself. So we utilize the borehole in the door to house all the motors, drivetrain, everything else that powers the lock goes on the inside of the borehole. And then if you see kind of on the cap of where that deadbolt will come out is a little Level logo. That's actually a battery compartment for a single CR2 battery that's housed inside the deadbolt itself. So again, when we talk about invisible technology, we're really talking about, instead of having a battery pack on the inside of the door, on the inside of the house, on the door itself, it's now recessed inside of the deadbolt. And instead of having that motor pack on the outside of the door, it's now recessed inside the borehole. So we're able to make it essentially invisible from the naked eye. So that Level Bolt,
you just unscrew that and put in the battery?
Yeah, it's just a cap screw, so no screwdrivers needed. You can just unscrew it with your fingers, take the battery out, replace the battery. It's a 10-15 second process, super easy to do. CR2 batteries, while maybe not as common as a AA or AAA, is still very common. You can get them anywhere. And one of the things that you'll see is we actually included extra batteries within our Pro Packs that are available on the channel. So you get 3 of those batteries with each of the packages that we sell. So essentially the initial battery plus 2 replacements are included in the package. And then you see that little kind of white hockey puck circle there. That's the Level Connect. That's the Wi-Fi bridge. So all of our locks are Bluetooth locks. They communicate via Bluetooth to the Wi-Fi bridge. You just plug it into the home and connects to the internet that way. Gives you remote access and integrates into some of the retail voice control platforms that you see listed here.
I think the big thing on here too is what you have on the bottom is that you will use your existing hardware. So is there any stipulations there which you can't use, or any hardware that they have?
Yeah, it's a great question. We're compatible with most standard American deadbolts. We have a great compatibility chart on our website as well. So if there's ever a question, you can always go on there and type in exactly what the hardware is. And if you kind of see the 3 different eyes, if you will, in the Level Bolt, that center one there is an adapter that can be interchanged to fit most standard door hardware that's available in the US. So there's a little piece that comes out and slides back in for a different type of door hardware. All 4 of those adapters are included in the packages. So we talk about more than 90% of door hardware we're compatible with. The one lookout there is, because we're using space on the inside of the door, there is a challenge when we have low profile handle sets, things that themselves steal from that interior door space. And so if you have something that's very low profile, if it's taking away the interior door space, there may be modifications that are required in order for our product to fit in there. But again, we have all that information on our website. So the website will tell you if it's fully compatible as is, if there's modifications needed, or if it's the one-off that's not compatible just because of the way that it's built.
Gotcha.
So we do consider this a retrofit solution, and you kind of see the ghost image here on the bottom right. So the bolt sitting inside of your door, and then your existing door hardware goes back on the door itself. So again, we're really talking about keeping your door aesthetic intact. So if you have a really nice handle set that the customer has on their door and you don't want to change that, this is a great solution to work with that. So you retrofit the existing solution by taking the old mechanical lock out, putting our bolt in, putting the door hardware back on the inner and outer parts of the door. So it looks the same, but it now functions as a smart lock. It gives you all the great features that you would expect from a smart lock. So certainly you could use the Level app to interface with the lock itself. You can use platforms like Apple, Google, Alexa. Where we're developing and coming soon is integrations with all the great CDA platforms that everyone is interested in. So that's coming later this year. We'll be rolling them out one at a time and announcing those as we go. But that's kind of the next evolution in the integration side for us. But currently the Level app and then Apple, Google, and Alexa are the main platforms to use to integrate with those. You can certainly do things like set schedules, send passes, add and delete access as you need to. If you have a dog walker that comes over on Wednesdays at noon, you can have a certain time frame set. If that person is no longer allowed in the house, you can deactivate remotely. So all the things that you'd expect from a smart lock is still included here while you maintain the aesthetic of your home. And one thing that's great is that little CR2 battery, that one battery that goes in the deadbolt itself, actually can power this lock for about 12 months with average usage. Thinking about 8 average uses per day, gives you about 12 months of use. So one little battery can power it for that long, which is great. In this channel, sometimes people are happy with 3 to 4 months. Getting 12 is really a great advantage for us.
And it's easy to replace too, like you said. But I don't
Super
even
easy.
need it, right? Just
Yeah.
pop it in. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this is Level Bolt again. This is that retrofit. You use your existing door hardware. What it does not have that Lock Plus does have, which we'll talk about next, is the NFC capabilities. So that's touching your lock to interact with it, whether it's through home keys, a key fob, key card, etc. So we can talk about that one now. So again, you'll see the Connect branding with this package. So Level Lock Plus Connect, again, that Connect Wi-Fi bridge is included with this. It's a similar technology to the bolt on the inside. You can see that same metallic piece in the top right. The hardware that comes with Lock Plus that does not come with bolt is that inner and outer bezel that you also see on the slide here. So again, it looks like a normal deadbolt keyway, normal thumb turn on the inside of the door, but we actually pack a lot of technology into those pieces. A big part of that technology is NFC. And so I'm an Apple user. I've got an iPhone. I've got an Apple Watch. The way that I interact with my Lock Plus is through just touching my watch or my phone to that outer bezel where the key would normally go. And we have an instant reaction where the lock will lock or unlock based upon that credentialed Apple device touching it. It also gives us the ability to use things like key fobs. So if you've got maybe it's kids that are coming home from school and they don't have an Apple Watch on their wrist or an Apple iPhone, they could have a key fob they could use to lock and unlock the door. They can be assigned, unassigned, reassigned, whatever you need to do remotely as well. So if they happen to lose one, very simple to deactivate that key fob, pair a new one, and give it back to them.
And those key fobs come with this package?
Yep, you get 2 of those with every Lock Plus package.
Yep.
You can use those key fobs on multiple locks too. So if you've got multiple locks in the home, or maybe even have multiple homes that you'd want to have access with the same key fob, you can use that across multiple homes. I myself, we've got 2 Lock Pluses on our home. My in-laws also have a Lock Plus on their door. I can use my same key fob to access all 3 locks. I can have different schedules for all different ones as well. If I would ever lose one, certainly my in-laws could deactivate that from their system and we could activate a new one. Same integrations here, so Apple, Google, Alexa, and of course the Level app as well. And our plans for the CD integrations would apply to both Lock Plus and to Bolt.
So the Bolt is that the same, I guess, piece that comes with in the Lock Plus?
Yeah, it's nearly the same. It looks the same. There's a little bit different technology on the actual little eye sockets that you see there. So you wouldn't actually be able to upgrade from Bolt to Lock Plus just by adding the inner and outer bezels. There is some different technology built in there, but from a footprint standpoint, it's the same size. It installs the same way. It looks obviously the same, but there is some different technology there. So if had a customer that had Bolt and wanted a Lock Plus, they would buy a whole new lock set instead of just adding the inner and outer bezels.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah, great. We do have this available in 2 different color finishes for the Pro channel. You'll see satin nickel and matte black shown here. Typically, matte black accounts for about 70% of our uses. Satin nickel's probably around 25%. The other 5%, we have a satin chrome and a polished brass, which are also available. We haven't rolled them out in the Pro Packs yet. Certainly could if there's demand for it, but we see the vast majority of customers wanting one of these two finishes. So you'll see most of our marketing collateral showing these two finishes. And if you have a need for a different one, just let us know and we can work with it. So again, really the big difference here in Lock Plus from a feature standpoint is that NFC capability. So you add in things like key fobs, which are included. There's also key cards that can be ordered, kind of the size of a credit card that would go in a wallet. And then the NFC touch through Apple Home keys using a watch or phone. All the other great features that you get with Bolt, you get here as well. So setting schedules, sending passes, guest credentials. And then I'll also mention on the next slide here, we do have a great keypad option for those that do want to have a keypad solution. So when we first launched Level, didn't have keypads because I thought of having an invisible smart lock with a keypad, was kind of counterintuitive, but there's enough people that want to have keypad access that we did roll out white and black keypad options. What's great about those, and we'll talk more about it, is they are Bluetooth. So they don't have to go in the door. They don't have to go right next to the door, just anywhere within Bluetooth range, call it 15 to 20 feet. You can have that keypad if you'd want it. So here's a picture of the white keypad. Again, it's available in both white and black. These are battery powered keypads. They take two AAA batteries. They come with mounting kits. So if you did want to mount them to the house, there's a little mounting bracket and two wall screws that come with that. Or if it was a different unique scenario, there is some strong adhesive that you can use to mount that to a different part of the home. Many people, if they have columns on their front porch, mounting on the back side of that is actually a great solution. That way you don't see it from the street, but as you're leaving the house, you can use a keypad to lock the door behind you. Rated for indoor or for outdoor use in any condition. So I'm in Arizona. I've got a black keypad facing west. It's 115 degrees here every day in the summer. Haven't had any issues with it. Color doesn't fade on the black keypad at all. So really a great solution that looks really nice, and it gives the ability to have that key fob or key pad functionality. And again, you'll see the pictures of both of them here, 4 to 6 digit key codes, so you can customize those. And again, you can add and delete those remotely. So we have many customers that use these for short-term rentals. They have the ability to add and delete key codes remotely without having to visit the property. And again, these are Bluetooth keypads. So as long as they're within 15 to 20 feet of the lock itself, you can use that and not have to have it right on the door itself.
That's where you're pairing it with the lock?
Yeah, you'll pair it with a lock on a 1-to-1 ratio. So you would pair it with the lock. The lock would kind of function as all the smarts behind it, and it just receives a signal from the keypad on what code was entered. The lock will determine whether it's an authorized key code or not. If it's not, you'll get a little red circle around the check mark on the keypad to let you know that it did not work. And if it was accepted, obviously it would lock or unlock the door. These keypads are also backlit, so if it's nighttime, you go up, you can hit anywhere on the keypad itself, and it'll light up rings around each number. We sometimes get questions of, what if I go up and I just hit a random spot to light it up and I hit a number? Is that going to impact how I put in my code? The answer is no. So if you happen to walk up and you randomly hit 5 on the keypad and your code's 1, 2, 3, 4, you could still type in 1, 2, 3, 4 and it'll work. If you just happen to hit 1 by chance, you could then just do 2, 3, 4 and it'll still work. It has the ability to understand that there may be a random press on the keypad to light it up first. So it can essentially disregard that first press if it's not part of the code and still work fine. So. And I know this is an eye chart. I won't make anybody read this certainly, but this is something that we share with obviously the 21st team and communicate to the dealers as well. And really what we're trying to emphasize here is we have similar products available in the retail channels, but what we did is curated custom Pro Packs for this space. And really what this slide is describing is what is the difference between the Pro Pack and 21st Century and what you might see on Level's website or in Best Buy or in Apple stores. And really the answer to that is there's a number of accessories that we typically sell a la carte on the retail side that may or may not be needed on an installation. And I know it's frustrating sometimes when you're going to install a lock and you find out you need one of these accessories and you don't have it and you have to go back and buy it. And it takes more time and it costs more. What we did is we took all of those accessories and bundled them into the Pro Pack. So you have everything at your fingertips that you need the first time for the installation. So if you have one of those scenarios where maybe you have a thinner door, there's a door spacer that comes with our Pro Packs that fills in that gap that might exist between the bezel of the lock and the door itself. or maybe you do have door hardware that is not compatible with those adapters that come with Bolt. We include an extra one for you to account for those other ones that may not already be present in that package. We also include an extended warranty, so a 3-year warranty that's exclusive to the Pro space. We have a great installation template that we built just for the Pro space. So it's a perforated sheet that goes over the door and over the frame. And if you do have to modify a door or make the initial cut on the door, you know exactly where to cut, how deep to cut, what the measurements are for everything. All that's included. And then also the additional batteries. So in our retail packages, you get the 1 battery that comes with the lock. In the Pro channel, you get the 2 additional batteries, so 3 batteries total. All that's included in these Pro packs. So really trying to build value for our installers, for our partners, and then ultimately for the customer, so that it's a better experience where they get their level solution installed the first time.
So again, you get more, I guess, installation materials. You get another year warranty, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get the installation template, right?
Yep, and the additional batteries.
And then batteries. Okay.
Yeah, and I should mention too, I think I mentioned the 12-month battery life for Bolt, but on Lock Plus, it's got that additional NFC built into it. So it is a little bit more power hungry, if you will, but we normally get 4 to 6 months of battery life on that Lock Plus. So still, pretty strong compared to many other locks in the market that are burning through, 4 AA's in a couple months. So 4 to 6 months on the Lock Plus. And again, you get 3 batteries with it. So you kind of figure that's, anywhere from a year to a year and a half of battery life with the batteries that are
Yeah, it
included.
depends on usage too. I mean, if you're using it at a front door compared to like a secondary door, you're probably getting more battery life out of that, right?
Yep. Yeah. It's only taking the power when you're, doing something to drive the motor, other than, turning your thumb turn with your hand or using a key to go in. If you're using the app or the keypad or a key fob, home keys, those are all things that will use some of the battery. And we say 8 of those per day on average. So to your point, if you're using it, once per day, or maybe it's a side door that you use once a month, certainly you can expect battery life out of that.
Yep.
And that's all we have. So really, yeah, just the kind of in summary, the 2 main products, Level Bolt, Level Lock Plus. Bolt is that retrofit solution. It does not incorporate home keys or NFC, but it does allow you to keep that existing door hardware that you have. And then Level Lock Plus includes that outer door hardware, but it really includes some great features like home keys and that. So depending on what the customer is looking for, pretty easy to steer them towards one of those 2 solutions.
Yeah, two easy SKUs, like you said. We also have demos if you're local to one of our 7 21st Century distributing branches. We have our demos set up for both versions. If you want to come in and check them out, we have these stocked at all of our locations as well. So you could talk to your rep, jump online, you can purchase them online. But we really appreciate Shawn being here and guiding us through this. This is a new line for us and that we're excited about. And we appreciate the support from Shawn and Level.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Shawn. Talk soon. Take care.
Bye.